So let's do some quick introductions and I'll get right to the interview. First of all, hi, I'm Andrew. I'm with Investors Hub, and today we're going to be talking with Ted Ohashi. He writes the Cannabis Report for Investors Hub, and we're going to be talking about the cannabis industry in general mostly, but there was also an interesting event that happened real recently that Mr. Ohashi thinks is going to be good news for the whole industry. So the cannabis industry has seen lots of good news recently, and I've been enjoying the good news because I'm in a lot of cannabis stocks and ETFs. Mr. Ohashi and I don't believe are in the same stocks, but he's been enjoying the rally as well. Please note that our videos are not designed to be direct investing advice. We're here to gather the perspective of different investors. Our channel and our content should just be one stop on the journey of trying to find out where to put your money. So chapter points are coming up next, then we'll hear from Mr. Ohashi. So Jazz Pharma is buying GW Pharma for like $7 billion, and you think that this is a signal gun for the whole cannabis industry. Why do you feel that way?
Well, the main reason is that it's happened once before. It happened when Constellation Brands invested in Canopy Growth. That would be around 3 years ago. And it triggered a real bull market in cannabis stocks. And I think that will happen this time. And this is very significant because it's a pharmaceutical company coming into the cannabis business. Previously, Constellation was an adult beverage company, and Altria, which bought into Kronos, was a tobacco company. So this is a pharmaceutical company, and it kind of puts cannabis on the mainstream. And so I think it could prove to be very important. Might trigger others to get in too.
So the cannabis industry rallied quite a bit last week, yes, because that was when Chuck Schumer announced that he was going to be drafting up some cannabis legislation in the near future. He was going to be giving restitutions to people who were jailed for pot crimes. So how long do you think the cannabis industry will sort of hold this rally in anticipation, right? Like how much time do we have, I suppose?
Well, a couple of things there. One is that there are 3 or 4 pieces of legislation that are possibly ready to go. The cannabis industry has a lot of difficulty with certain of the laws because of cannabis standing with the federal government. It's a Schedule I drug, which makes it illegal, and which means federally incorporated banks, for example, don't deal with cannabis companies. Federally incorporated insurance companies don't deal with cannabis companies. So it makes life very difficult. So there are pieces of legislation coming down the pike that will address things like the scheduling of cannabis. Now, if they remove cannabis from the Controlled Substances Act, which Schumer has sort of hinted at, then it would blow the doors off the industry because that would make it legal federally, and it means all these other problems would go away. But I don't think we're going to get to that in one step. Or if it is one step, it'll take a bit longer than a lot of people are talking about. So I think changes in banking and so forth can happen relatively quickly. I think there'll be bipartisan support for that sort of change. But for full-on legalization, that's a more difficult issue. There may be even some Democrats that are not happy with that. And so there we're looking at maybe 2 years, maybe in the first term for Biden. And so I think that will be a ways coming. Right now, the market seems to be edging toward the optimistic side, which means if that doesn't happen right away, there'll be a little disappointment. But I think improvements to banking and so forth for the cannabis industry will be enough to carry a rally for, I would say, at least a year.
So if marijuana is federally legalized, how do you think that that will affect the price for the end consumer?
Well, I think it will probably make the price go down. At least that's been the experience in Canada. First of all, it went up because to operate legally under all the regulations adds layers of cost, and then there are tax issues on top of that. So in Canada, the price went up to maybe $10 a gram. Better quality stuff went up to even higher prices than that. But since then, it's come back, and now it's about $7, I guess. The difficulty is that it's still a lot higher than the black market price, and so it's hard to see how they're going to chase the illegal producers out of the industry if they have a $3 or $4 per gram price advantage.
Any final thoughts?
I think this is an awfully good time to be invested in the cannabis group. They've been very strong for the past a week or 10 days, but I think that's going to continue. I think the price that Jazz Pharmaceuticals paid for GW Pharma is a bit of an eye opener. GW's FDA approved Epidiolex is really a very specialized treatment for a very specialized malady. So, I mean, if someone were to get a FDA approved drug for with cannabis for depression, for example, or anxiety, I mean, what would that be worth? I mean, it'd be in the trillions, maybe. So, I think this is a good time to be invested and stay invested in the cannabis group.
Thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at ihub_vision, and I'll see you again soon.